Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 8, Episode 17, titled The Smoker You Drink, The Player You Get, air date March 1st, 2011, and the synopsis is:
As Haley's due date approaches, everyone gets a turn with false alarms from her. Nathan's professor encourages Nathan not to sign Ian. Chase helps Chuck with his baseball skills while Brooke and Julian prepare to begin a family. So Quinn has an obsession with these toaster pastries, and I try to look at this up because I never had them, but apparently it is like a made-up jingle, I think, because there was like never an official one with the lyrics, just music. So,
oh really?
Yeah, as far as I could tell.
And all of a sudden she's obsessed with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had a question for you.
Yeah.
They seem like a breakfast thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, it kind of seems like it's morning.
Right.
So why is Quinn there? She doesn't live there. Like, she lives with Clay at the beach house.
Yeah, I guess she's been staying with Haley since she's close to the due date in case if she does go into labor. Because she would be home alone.
Because I was just kind of like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird. Also, do you know what I thought of? So this whole episode, Haley's testing everyone, like, what happens, if basically you're the only one here. Well, I was thinking, what are they gonna do with Jamie though? Like, you know what I mean? Because he lives there. Because if like Quinn, I mean, is he going to the hospital too? Like, they never said a plan for him. They just said, because think about it, if you're gonna call somebody to come watch him, right? You gotta get to the hospital too. So it's like,
yeah, I guess he would just go with them because they never say anything. So
yeah, so I was kind of thrown off because I'm like, in this episode, they're kind of acting as if it's her first time having a baby because, they never brought up like what their plan was for Jamie. And I was just kind of like, okay, like when Quinn stuffs her in the car, it's like, what were you gonna do with Jamie? Like there was no plan of what they were doing with him. So
yeah, he wasn't even in this, so I don't even know where he was.
that's why I'm thinking like they just kind of just tossed him to the side and just acting like he didn't exist this episode. Because I was just like, what? Because even if he went over to like Lauren's or Madison's or whatever, like you would have to notify their parent. But if it's at like 2 a.m., he's not going over there. So he would then go to, I don't know, maybe Mouth because he doesn't really, like he's not really doing much. So it's like, okay, like he doesn't have like a job that you have to be at. Like he could take time off. So, and he's close with Nathan and Haley. So I was like, he would probably be one to watch him. But I was just kind of like, it's just weird because I was like, they did not think of him at all.
Right. Yeah, so Quinn's the first one to get this trick played on her. And before she can take a bite of her little snack, Haley, sounds the alarm. And, Quinn's panicking, trying to grab everything, including Haley's shoes. But Haley's already wearing shoes, which are like high heels, which doesn't seem realistic either to get to somewhere quick.
Well, and it doesn't seem like you would really, in real life, be 9 months pregnant and wearing heels.
Right.
Like, I just don't feel like that's something that you would do. I feel like you would take your shoes off. So
right, unless she was going somewhere to an event, but yeah.
And that's the thing. She keeps wandering around her house with high heels on, and I'm like, first of all, you're pregnant. Secondly, why are you just wandering around with heels in your house? Like, it's weird.
And I feel like they wouldn't even fit at this point anyway because of the swelling, some women have. So
and you know how like well, like when you do wear uncomfortable shoes like dress shoes and heels and all of that, but even like dress shoes,
Mhm.
If you're in them all day, oh my God, it just feels so good to take them off. And you're like, my feet can heal. Hers can't because she's in them all day, every day. It's like,
Mhm.
it's so confusing. I'm like, you have your heels on, it's like you're going somewhere. And I'm like, why not just wear tennis shoes? Which is
Right.
so weird because the old Haley would have had tennis shoes on,
Yep.
which is so much more comfortable than heels. I feel like from like season 5 on, adult Haley has to have heels. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, she was only wearing heels when she was having Jamie because that was a graduation ceremony. So yeah, she's just home here. There's no event she's at that would
No,
require heels. Yeah.
because you would think that you would just be lounging around the house, just hanging out with your sister. Like you're not gonna be in heels. So that was weird.
Mhm.
Also, maybe trying to test her would be not having your shoes on so that she would have to panic, like think
Mm.
if she was like rushing her out the door and then Haley's like, I don't have my shoes.
Right.
And then like Haley hid the shoes, so then Quinn couldn't find, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
what would you do in that case? And it's like
Right.
at that point, you just wear your like slippers,
Mhm.
like you're going to the hospital. No one cares of what you wear.
Right.
Like you're not the Queen of England. No one cares of what you wear. So it's like I feel like you could even just wear your slippers, like something
Mhm.
easy. But I was just like, what? So it just kind of threw me off because I'm like, there's no Planet Jamie in this at all. He just all of a sudden 17
Right.
when he's really 8.
Mhm. Yeah, so I wonder what would have happened if Taylor was in this situation with them because Quinn completely forgot she didn't even drive her car. She had Clay's. That's why she had his keys because she was confused on where hers were. And then they go to the garage.
So I have a
And
question though.
yeah.
Nathan and Haley both had vehicles, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he buys her this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. There was no sign that they sold her car. Also,
Right.
this doesn't seem like a car you would drive every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, like expensive sports cars, you don't want to put the miles on them. So she's not going to be probably driving it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like, also, then where's her car? So when they're like, oh, basically this is the only vehicle, it's like, she should still have another vehicle because Nathan never said, oh yeah, get rid of yours so that I could buy this one. No, it just seemed like he bought it and they would still have 3 vehicles. So that also threw me off. I was like, where's her vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just a sports vehicle.
Right.
I'm sure Nathan's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
How is she hauling Jamie around? Like Jamie, Chuck, and Madison, if they're all together, how's Haley doing that in her sports car if Nathan is away?
Right.
Doesn't make very much sense to me, which is why you would have your regular Range Rover.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. So for her to not have a vehicle besides this one doesn't make much sense either.
Right. So since Haley can't fit in the front, Quinn somehow manages to get her in the back where there's like no room. So she's like laying down face up toward the sky.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And that's when she says, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how's this tricking you?
Yep. So they go back inside and Quinn tells Haley that was a dirty trick.
I'd have been mad.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like, you're on your own when you're actually in labor.
Yeah. So Haley just, says she was testing her in case Nathan's not home, and Quinn calls her a wolf choir. And then Haley asks if she wants a drink or another toast or pastry and make it up to her. And Quinn says no to both at first, but then says yes to the toast or pastry. And then Haley just laughs at how Quinn tried to stuff her into the Stingray car. And she tells Quinn that she really wasn't ready, but Quinn says she will be next time when the moment is real. And then in Kellerman's class, a lot of students failed the latest test.
Yeah, so he gives Nathan his, and it's A-, and then it says, see me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's never good when your teacher or professor says, see me.
Right.
Also, wouldn't you question like why he wants to see you just given the fact that even A minus? Like if you were really
Maybe.
like if you were really questioning me, I don't feel like you would have given me an A minus, you know?
Right. Well, maybe he suspected him of cheating, and got the A. Maybe that could be it.
I had have been like not seeing you. You gave me the A minus.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think about it. It's Kellerman.
Right.
If it was anyone else, sure, but
Mm-hmm.
not him.
Right. And then Julian and Brooke are picking out paint colors for the nursery. And since they don't know the sex of the baby, they're going for neutral colors. And they have a little debate about that because Brooke wants yellow while Julian goes for green. And, she reads off the name saying soft duckling. And Julian agrees that's a good one, but not to sleep on Enchanted Forest. And Brooke's just, really happy saying they're getting a baby.
I would probably go with yellow.
Mm-hmm.
What would you go with?
I don't really remember the green color. I think it might have been a little too dark, so maybe
Well,
the yellow.
that's why I would have went with yellow was because the green wasn't like a girly green. You know what I mean? Like, so I
Well, they
just
didn't
feel
know if
like,
it was a girl too, so it didn't really matter.
what?
They didn't know what the gender was, so it didn't matter if the color was girly or not.
No, I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying is that if they did it that green and then it's not or then it is a girl, it's like, oops.
Mm.
Where if you would have done like a lighter green, then cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the darker one just kind of did seem kind of boyish. Where I was like, yeah, that's why I would have just stuck with the yellow.
And then that's when we segue to Mouth calling Millie his soft duckling because she's wearing a
Weird.
chicken suit, though, And then
Okay,
Mouth.
so I do wonder how the actors really felt about this.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Like,
this isn't the first time this has happened in a show, but yeah.
you're right, but having Mouth and Millie both wear this,
Right.
I'd have been like, oh, okay. Clearly, we went through everything. Now we have to dress up as ducks.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say it was kind of funny, the story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is exactly how the last reporter, lost the job because he got hit by a car while wearing the chicken suit. So Millie's not too
So
happy about this.
somebody doesn't like chickens
I don't know.
or ducks or whatever
Mm-hmm.
because they hit her or they hit the last person.
Right, but Millie says the other stories are boring, so this is all she has, pretty much. And Mouth jokes about chickens making a splatter too, and um, like how about she reads him one of the other stories, and they can come up with like a new angle for that, so she doesn't have to do this one. And then calls her his hot chick, and then Nathan walks up to Kellerman, about seeing him and about the A.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when he brought up he doesn't want Nathan to represent his son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they like he doesn't give him exactly any reason. He just says that, very vaguely.
All he had to do was say, "You're still in college. You don't know anything about being an agent." You know
Well,
what I
he
mean?
knows that Clay was part of it, so it wasn't just Nathan alone.
I know, but he hates Nathan. But I'm just saying that could have been a reason
Yeah,
of
because
why you don't want your son to be with this agency when they're basically somewhat new.
I
I'm just
mean,
saying.
wasn't the reason for it was Ian himself? Like he just wouldn't have been a good player, like business wise, with Nathan and Clay, and that was the reason.
I don't know. I
The
just
Kellerman
don't.
just didn't say that.
I don't know. I don't remember.
hmm And then, yeah, so he doesn't give him much reason, so Nathan just thinks it's, his fault that his dad or, Ian's dad doesn't want him to sign him. And just because he even tells Nathan he just doesn't want him represented by him. So yeah, it definitely makes it seem like it's personal towards Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nathan tells Clay what Kellerman told him. And it seems like he told him he wasn't good enough to represent his son. And then he went into the whole separation of business and personal nonsense. And then then the chick from Kellerman's boat came by, and he tells Clay that she asked about him, and Clay asks who did. Tracy, she's not as hot as Quinn, he says, and Nathan asks, what does he think about Kellerman and the Ian situation? But Clay is too focused on getting something to eat now.
Yep. And so they go back and forth about that.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he wants mashed potatoes with it, with breakfast. That's just gross.
Right.
And then I liked when Julian came in.
Mm-hmm.
And so he sits down next to Clay. And it was just funny.
Yeah, because it was funny when Clay called him J-Man, and Julian questions if Clay knew that Jamie didn't call him.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was mentioned before in previous episode.
That's because that's what they call Jamie.
Yeah. And then Clay goes on about cell phones and calls and all that too.
And so then they go on about why you would text instead of call and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, because it's the future now, it's I think people don't like phone calls.
Right.
Because they want a 2-second response. They want to be able to respond quickly and when they feel like it, versus a phone call where you're going to actually have a conversation. Because think about it, your conversations can go on for days, where a phone call would be just right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think texting also is you get back to that person on your time.
Right. I don't mind calls. I just need a heads up beforehand, just in case if I'm, can't take the call.
Yeah, but there are some people that hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And refuse it. So it was funny when they were talking about drop calls and if it's if you say you love someone to somebody and it's and then they're talking oh yeah, because Clay, not Clay, Chase comes into this and they were talking about oh I just think of the person as dead.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't respond, and I'm but if you have to see this person every day, it's a lot harder to just be they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because where I was, it's it's very hard to they don't respond, and it's and you see the little check mark that they read it,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't respond, and you're interesting. And then you see them in person and they act like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's really? So, yeah, I'm I don't know. I feel not much has changed.
Right.
It's still bad. And
then
they leave you on red.
Mm-hmm. That's why you turn the red receipts off, really. And then Clay was very specific about saying that it's not as bad as when they get, you get a call and you get asked to smuggle 15 balloons of Bolivian cocaine across the Turkish border, and you have bills to pay and have no problem saying no. So I guess that must have happened to him before.
Yeah, I'm who's saying that?
Mm-hmm. And then Silence of the Lambs is brought up, but I don't know that movie. And then that's when Julian brings up the colors, but doesn't say their colors. So Nathan thinks it's a band at first.
Well, he really thinks Julian, of all people, is gonna start a band.
Right. Well, I think he was thinking see a band, because he said he would go see Soft Duckling. And that's when Julian explains that they're paint colors for the baby's room. And then to get out of answering, Chase says he has to go to work because all the guys say he's a bar manager. And then Chase tells him, hate is a choice and not to do it. And then Julian asks Clay and Nathan yellow or green. And then because of their food versus food discussion a minute ago, Clay tells Julian that that's like asking them to compare applesauce and mashed potatoes. And Julian says that, he likes mashed potatoes, and making Nathan say that he's glad his wife isn't having a son.
Even though he has a son.
Yeah. And then says he has to go find Ian. And Clay tells Nathan to text and not call Ian. And then now Haley tells Quinn it's time to have the baby again.
Oh, No, because
Mhm.
Nathan does say, "Are you starting a band?" So not, "Are you seeing a band?" He says, "Are you starting a band?" That's why I'm like, "What?"
Oh, now I see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I skipped that line. And then so Quinn is being tested again, and she calmly
Oh,
walks out.
I will say I do love when the guys have scenes together.
Hmm.
And so, like, here, I know a lot of people might say it's, like, dumb or whatever, cheesy, whatever, like, but I loved them just sitting down and talking, and it was hilarious.
Hmm.
'Cause think
Yeah.
about it, it wasn't, like, about sex or girls, you know what I mean? Like, it was just funny
Hmm.
to,
Yeah.
like, hear what they had to say, and, again, I love when they're together,
Hmm.
just like I love when the girls are together. So, it's because they didn't really give you too much of that
Right.
when they are together, I love it.
Hmm.
And then I loved how awkward it got at the end when Julian and Claire sit next to each other. And
Hmm.
they're just kinda like, "Yeah, this is weird." I was like, "Yep, I felt it."
Yeah. So Haley tests Quinn again, and she's very calm this time and comes out with a packed bag for the hospital now, and even found Nathan's old wheelchair from the garage for her to use to, wheel to the car outside. And she says that her SUV is already out there waiting for them, and Haley's impressed.
So, she found her keys then and everything's good?
Yep. But then she asks what if she's not there, and neither is Nathan now.
Yep, then I think of Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
Then she has to come over.
Yep. They invite her over, and Quinn's hiding, so believes that Brooke's the only one that can help her. So Haley says her water broke, and Brooke now wants a towel for her car. She runs to the kitchen, telling Haley there's time to get
Yeah.
it,
And she's
and
like, "There's no time." Yeah.
and then tells her that she needs to clamp her knees together like she should have done 9 months ago. And
Yeah, I was like, I don't that doesn't that does not work. The baby's coming."
mm-hmm,
Also, so she drops her keys.
yep, and struggles with the towel. Yep,
So then they have to call Julian.
yep, because it fell into the AC duct.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Brooke thinks it was a jury trick too.
Yeah, but now they want to pull it on Julian.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, that's the thing. It just keeps getting worse. Everyone just keeps getting more involved.
Yep. So he gets there, he's trying to get it out. He asks how this happened, and Brooke said, she tripped, she's clumsy. He knows how that is, but he doesn't think he can get them. So Quinn says, she hopes Haley doesn't go into labor anytime soon then.
Like why would you say that?
Right.
Like that's what made it so obvious
Right.
when Quinn says, "I hope she doesn't go into labor," because it's like, who says that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would not be in your mind to say that out loud. Why? Because Quinn has a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would have been my thing. Like, Julian has a vehicle.
Right.
Quinn has a vehicle. We're
Mm-hmm.
good if Brooke doesn't have her keys.
Right.
Like, I was like, why would you say that? Like, oh, what happens if she get
Mm-hmm.
but then Quinn, you're gonna go take her to the hospital.
Yeah, so at least
Like,
Julian
what?
said that if she does, they'll just throw her in the bed of his truck. I mean, it's not the best option, but it's still an option.
But again,
And
you
then
just use Quinn's.
yeah, and that's when Haley walks out saying it's time. And once Julian believes this is happening, he faints.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up later panicking, thinking Haley had the baby, but she lets him know that it was just a little test and he passed
And she goes,
out.
"Out." That
Mm-hmm.
was funny. You pass out.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
So Julian says that was a jury trick, and everybody's saying this. And Quinn makes herself a toaster pastry because she still hasn't had one, I guess. And she just loves him so much, she says, and now everyone wants one now. And Haley asks Quinn how many has she had by now. So I guess maybe she's had multiple.
I don't know.
For
We
the
haven't
day.
seen her. We haven't seen her have one yet.
Right. Unless so I don't know if they're Haley's or Jamie's that she's eating them, or she brought her own, but yeah. And then we go to Nathan asking Ian how many shots he has had made in this pool game. And Ian asks Nathan if he's his father, and Nathan says if he was, he wouldn't be happy with him right now. And Ian knows that his dad told Nathan not to be his agent, so I guess this happened before with other agents in the past.
So he was like, basically, like, it's a win-win. You get to sign me and piss off the old man. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if that's what you're going for.
Yeah, so Ian says that, he gets good agents, pisses off his dad, and looks good doing it. So it's a win-win for everybody.
No,
That's how
he
he sees it.
He said it's a win-win-win. I'm like,
Yeah.
what an idiot.
hmm And then Nathan runs into his classmate, whose name I can't remember, and he didn't do well in the test. And Chuck says hi to him from across the bar. And we find out that Chuck is actually 9 because he got held back. And he asks for Chase's help. And then Mouth helps Millie with the chicken costume traffic story. He struts in the suit, making Millie realize he wanted to do this all along. And then Millie explains that they did a study how street signs are more noticeable if only the first letter is capitalized and not the whole word. So Mouth doesn't believe it, but Millie says it was paid by taxpayer dollars, by his when he had his job. And Mouth says he has a job, being a bartender, and then he gives her ideas for the stories opening, like why did the chicken cross the wrong road because he couldn't read the street signs. And then Millie likes that and says because of the study they're changing the signs now. So Mouth thinks that's stupid, that money could be going towards something more important. And with him being worked up, she says she'll do the story. So Mouth says he'll only let her do it if she says how ridiculous and stupid and wasteful the project is. And Millie says she wishes she could. And Mouth tells her Jerry loves that kind of stuff, like social commentary, but Millie doesn't think she'll do it.
So when did Jerry become in charge?
Yeah, they don't really explain that. He's just there.
Because this is like the first episode that he is in charge in, right? Because like the last one we didn't know. We just know she got a call that she got the job.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know anything else.
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, all right, apparently he moved up.
Mm-hmm. And then Brooke and Julian get home after Julian fainted from Haley's false alarm.
Okay, this is so weird.
Mm.
Why is Chloe at their house?
Oh.
Inside.
Right.
I can't with that.
Mm-hmm. But before that, I thought it was funny how Julian defended himself, saying that he fainted because he stood up too fast. But yeah.
But seriously, why is Chloe there?
Yeah, and like eating in their kitchen, sitting on the counter.
Like, okay, now that she knows where they live, she's kind of now a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
Is she gonna stalk when the baby is born? Like
right. And
when they have the baby and the baby's grown up, because she knows exactly where they live. She knows exactly what the house looks like. She's probably made herself now a key. Like, I would not trust this owned. I would not trust this girl.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking of the open adoption since she seemed to get this information.
I'd have to move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The look on Brooke's face, because she's like, what are you doing here? It didn't seem like an open adoption. Plus, in open adoption, you don't go to the person's house. You don't know where they live. Like, you don't go to their house. They don't go to yours. You would meet at a public place and do your like meets and everything. You're not
maybe the agency.
Yeah, but you're not gonna go to the person's house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, that's their safe place with the child. That's not for you to interfere. And now that she has seen so much, like, no, like this is so illegal
Mm-hmm.
on every level.
Yeah, but that was funny how she was actually eating a toaster pastry as well.
No, I just thought it was annoying. I was upset at this.
So, and then apparently that extra key was under the gnome statue in front of the door somewhere.
Yeah, so now they're going to change her locks because of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the only thing that she says is that she had a doctor check up and it looks like the baby is going to come sooner than they thought, and that was it. And then Nathan tells Clay what Kellerman said.
Okay,
after.
also about that. That's all the news. Like,
right.
If that's
it, that was it.
If that's it, all you have to do is call. First of all, I don't know why again you're in touch with them, because you would go through the agency and the agency would talk back and forth, especially at this point because the baby isn't here yet. But also, what? Like, this is literally a one sentence thing where all you have to do is call them and tell them the baby's coming early. This was not a you show up to their house, inside their house when they're not even home, and eat their food and wait for them to come home and tell them. Like, no. And it's for you to call them or text them or have the agency do it And that's that. What?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was also mad. I'm like, that's your big news? Could have just called. I wish one of them would have just said that.
Right. So then Nathan and Clay are talking about Kellerman again about not him wanting representing Ian. And Clay says he can believe he said that all about, except for the A- part. And Nathan says he thinks Kellerman's just a bully and they need to get Ian a great deal so he can get out from under his father and never look back. So Clay asks if they're talking about Ian or Nathan Scott. So Nathan tells Clay he knows he doesn't like Ian on the surface. There's not a lot to like, but he's been there. He just needs to grow up and find some stability. And Clay gets that when Nathan looks Ian like he sees his own past, and he tells Nathan he still doesn't trust Ian though.
And that was the thing. Was like, again, like we talked about how like Nathan just thinks every person is just like him. Like if they're in that situation, they're not all like you, Nathan. And so, no, I don't trust the guy either.
Yeah, he's just trying to see the good in Ian, like how Haley saw the good in him, basically.
I know, but not everybody can change. Not everybody is a good person. So, and some people are only in it for the money, popularity, whatever, where Nathan wasn't. I mean, I'm sure he wanted the money, but like he was focused on the game where Ian don't give a crap about the game. He just wants the money, women, and parties and get drunk. Like that's what's in his head. It's not the game, which was Nathan. Like those things to Nathan were benefits of his love for the game, but it wasn't everything. Where Ian, no, that's number one. The game is just second, which is not good if that's what you want to do in life.
Right. So Nathan says that they need to be Kellerman at his own game with his own words. Trust is a gamble, get it in writing. So they have Ian sign a contract with them. That way Kellerman can't influence or pressure him. And then tells Clay they include a morals clause in case he's right and he's wrong, Nathan, which he's not.
So I like when Haley comes in and she's telling them that she's having the baby, and they're like, yeah, whatever, like we're gonna play another game. And she's like, no, seriously. And they're like, and that's anything like, yeah, well, Julian told us what you did. And so they're not going along with it either, as they shouldn't, because how many times are you going to do this, testing every single person? Eventually, when you do have a baby, no one's going to be there. And so, and then she gets them by saying, no, seriously, it's time. Which you would think after Nathan would be with her for all this time, you would know she's lying.
Right.
Remember, Nathan knows. Come back to season 3. Remember how Nathan knew everything? All he had to do was have his eyes closed and he knew exactly what she was thinking. Remember? If you know her that well, and that was in high school, and it's been 10 years since, you would think that after all that time, you would know she's lying. Like, how do you not know your wife isn't lying? You knew her so well 10 years ago.
Right.
What changed? I'm like, what? That's why honestly I was like, how do you not know your wife isn't lying or is lying or whatever? Because it's like you would know that, especially you of all people. So yeah, I was like, what? You know who would probably have noticed that she was lying? Lucas.
Right.
You know that they would have made that one they would have made him be like, not falling for it. But yeah, I was like, how does Nathan not know? He knows her the best, apparently, but not in this episode.
Right.
And then she goes, ha ha, got you.
Yep. And she laughs and says wolf, just like Clay was saying before. And then Millie is out on the street in the chicken costume and goes live. She uses Mouth's opening joke line, then continues with the street sign story, and she makes another joke, making the cameraman laugh. And then she mentions the taxpayers' money is going towards the signs, but not towards more important things.
And Mouth is all happy.
Yep, he's probably while he's watching the TV. And then Jerry later asks Millie, like, is she out of her mind for going out on her rant like that on TV? And Millie says the signs, were a dumb idea. And Jerry tells her that they don't air opinions. And then says she won't have to worry about her tax dollars going towards the signs because she might be out of a job at the end of the day.
I liked when the cameraman was agreeing with her.
Mm-hmm.
It was because he's recording this, so basically his voice is also going to be out in there.
Right.
But it was just funny because he was agreeing, and I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to have an opinion either.
Mm-hmm. And then Jerry mentions that the phones are ringing off the hook. It's going to get bad. And he tells her to go home and he'll see what he can do. And then Chase is helping Chuck with his bat swinging at trick. And I think it's Johnny, Nathan's classmate, keeps yelling that Chuck is striking out and Chuck is getting tired of missing. So Chase tells him it could be his pitches. And Johnny, I think if I'm right, says it's not his pitches. And Chase says he was a great pitcher in Little League.
I have a question.
So, yeah.
Why are they doing this in trick?
Yeah, that was my thing too. They could
break
things.
Everything. Why aren't they doing this outside somewhere?
Yeah, all the glass bottles of liquor. Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, this makes no sense. I don't even care that the bar is empty, obviously, but like, there's so much to break. Go to the freaking park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this. Isn't River Court open?
Yeah, I guess it's because Chase can't leave the bar because it's open right now.
Close it for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying.
Yeah, and then
and think about it. No one's at the bar besides the three of them anyway.
Mm-hmm. So then Johnny has Chase throw a ball and he easily hits it. So he tells Chase it's on his pitches. And then Chuck tells Chase he sucks worse than him. And Chase walks into the studio now where Alex is listening to her song. He tells her it sounds good. Alex is unsure though. And he tells Chuck not to touch anything and asks Alex if he can borrow the glasses she needs, but is too afraid to wear. Alex says she doesn't need glasses, but he knows she keeps them in her purse and squints through them whenever she doesn't think anyone's looking. And Alex tells Chase if he tells anyone about them, she will tell them something about him. So since Chuck is in the room, he decides to say that, she's the one that has her JJ in a sex tape, but God forbid people know that she wears glasses. And she gives them to him and tells him to still not say a word about them. And yet Nathan's classmate is also there hearing all this. So technically now he knows about the glasses and the sex tape. And then back in the bar area, Chase has Chuck wear the glasses and he tells Chuck he won't laugh at him when he puts them on, but he does so anyway. And Johnny laughs too, and Chuck gets mad. He storms out, hurt. And Nathan's classmate, Johnny says that Chuck did look funny with them on. And then Brooke is making Chloe comfortable in the guest room now. All of a sudden, I guess she
moved in.
Yeah, like they didn't explain like if she got into a fight with the boyfriend or like just has nowhere to go. Like why is she there?
It doesn't matter. This is too close
of
a relationship.
Right. And then apparently Julian left to go finish his documentary too. And just, leaving Brooke there.
You would have thought he would have been done with them. Is at the beginning of the season that he, it was basically like 9 months ago when he was filming. So you would think it'd be done.
And then Brooke asks Chloe if she wants some milk with her cookies or fruit with the milk, wanting her to eat healthier for the baby. And Chloe tells Brooke she can ask her anything she wants. So
this isn't the guest room now, it's the baby's room.
Right.
Which is worse because now she's gonna see the baby's room. Where it is. Like this to me is if they would have this is a storyline they could have done. Her trying to kidnap the baby.
Right.
Because think about it. She knows exactly where the baby is gonna stay. Nope, not good.
Yeah, and the fact that the baby's room is closer to the door than Julian and Brooke's room too, that's not good.
This whole thing isn't good. And then Brooke, that's when Brooke was like asking you about the father. Okay, so I will say when she said like he's in jail for drugs, I was surprised like Brooke didn't say anything. And then she's like, oh, prison, actually. Then she said, maybe he knows your mom. They would not be in the same prison, honey.
Right. Yeah, she's just joking, yeah.
But I was just like, what? Like that? You're stupid. Like, why would you even say that? It's not even funny because it's just stupid.
Yeah, well, maybe she thought she could joke about that if it was, whether it was serious or not, since, everybody was joking about them going to jail at the baby shower.
No, I'm saying it's not funny because they would never be in the same prison together.
Oh.
So to me, that's
Right.
just not even funny. It'd be like, are you on something? Like they what? Because, I'm so technical about things. I'd be like, you're an idiot, like true idiot. And then if you go, oh, fun, like, no, just kidding. It'd be like, now you're saying just kidding. You're just stupid. Which I feel like is what Chloe is. She has no boundaries and she's irritating me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Brooke was concerned when she told her this. And she just explains that, the guy has a picture of what he wants his life to be, and a baby right now isn't part of it. And she has a picture too. And, what does she know about raising a kid? And Brooke tells her she thinks putting the baby's life first is selfless. And then Chloe asks if she should be in the room while she paints. And Brooke tells her, it's not as bad as, latex paint or spray paint. So she's fine. And then asks about Chloe's friends. And Chloe says she used to have a lot of friends, but she can't do the things that they like to do, which is partying, because that's when we go to the frat party that Ian's putting together, where he's supposed to meet up with Nathan and Clay in a small gathering to see them, and they're going to give him the papers for the contract to sign.
Yep, and everybody's drinking.
Mm-hmm. And he's surrounded by women, of course.
Mm-hmm. Everything he loves.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley's watching Quinn drink some wine, and she offers her another glass, but Quinn tells her she has to go home, but Haley pours it anyway, and Quinn says she already had a drink of wine for her and ate some cheese and sushi even.
So, okay, so here she was going to leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't get why she was there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and
if you were, like,
she's drunk.
If you were truly there because Nathan's not, you would stay there until he got home.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she even said when she was testing her, what happens if I'm not here? Neither is Nathan. So she didn't have to be over there. So that also made no sense, but okay. Guess she was bored.
Mm-hmm. And then Haley tells Quinn it's nice to have her there, and she can't believe that she almost lost her and Jamie in the same night. And Quinn reminds her that she didn't, and Katie's locked away, and the driver of that car has to live with what he did. And Haley says she can't believe they didn't find him because his car was so greatly damaged. And then we go to Trick next, where we see Chase. So I wonder if that was the way of the writers maybe trying to frame Chase maybe in a way of being that driver, or
Oh, I didn't think so.
just going to the next scene.
I think they were just pointing it out there to remind everybody, because it's been a little bit, of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't found the person, and what the vehicle looks like. Because it happened in episode 11. This is 17, so it's been a while. So I feel like they're just reminding everybody for the end.
Right.
Like, keep in mind, this is the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the person has not been found.
Right. But that would have been a plot twist if it was. And then Alex walks in, and Chase tells her to step away from the bar because she does two things when she's feeling vulnerable. She takes shots and does boys, and that's when her phone rings. And Chase assumes that it's a new boyfriend, but Alex tells him she doesn't know. It's just somebody she just met. And Chase, goes on to, I guess, sound wise and say that change is a whisper. It's a season. It's slow and quiet, not very dramatic, but it's up to her. And then tells her song is good. And then Millie walks in and takes a sip of the drink Chase gave Alex on the house, and is disappointed it's only root beer. And Millie asks if Alex has any shots that she needs to take for her, and that's when Mouth walks up, proud of Millie's TV segment earlier, and Millie tells him she's about to be fired because Jerry didn't love that, and says chickens aren't supposed to give opinions. And Mouth argues that it was social commentary, and Millie says it was dumb, and Mouth tells Alex what happened. And Millie tells Mouth that Jerry was getting complaints, so she's doomed. And then a guy walks up, making Alex think that he's starstruck from seeing her.
Yeah, but he wants an autograph from Millie.
Yep. Calling her the angry chicken reporter, and that her rant was awesome. And then Nathan and Clay give Ian papers. They tell him it's a contract. And Ian suggests that him and Tommy go against them in a game of beer pong. Is his name? So his name's Tommy. I said Johnny. I can't remember.
It's Tommy.
Okay, they don't say their names often enough for me to remember. Even if just like the first scene when they come into the episode again, they should do that.
This is weird because he says that if we lose, I'll sign your contract. But if I win, I won't. And I'm just like, like, do you not want to have agents? Like, this seems to be your last resort. And he's making it very hard. And I'm just like, then screw you. If you don't want to sign with us, like, you're an idiot, whatever.
Maybe he's just saying that he knows his dad doesn't want him to, or them to sign with him. So he's like trying to maybe let them have a way out in a way.
But then he would have no agency.
Yeah. He just, thinking about what his dad wants.
But he also said he doesn't care what his dad wants. Because he even said, it's a win-win if I sign with you to make him mad. That's all he's thinking of. He doesn't care about that at all. And that's why I'm just like, how would that be a win? Like, win? You wouldn't have an agency.
Yeah, I think he actually does care. He just pretends he doesn't.
But then he, I don't know. He was just like obnoxious. But also, I was also thinking, like, who also doesn't have somebody else read your contract?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? Like, you would have somebody read it to make sure that what you want is in it and that you're not going to be doing something that you don't want to.
Right.
So I was like, that would be stupid, honestly. Like, they hand you a contract, sign it. Well, what that? There's like 40 pages. What's in it? Like,
right.
I'll get back to you in a couple days. Like, it was just weird how we have a contract, need you to sign it today. No.
Right.
Maybe that's what he should have said. Like, I'll sign it tonight if you win, but I'll still think about it if I win. You know what I mean? Maybe that should have been, because then he still would have cared. But it seemed like he didn't care at all.
Right.
As he says, I won't sign it. Well, then you won't have an agency. Like, if I was Clay, that's what I would have said. And so I feel like it should have been worded differently to make it seem like he cared a little. But I really don't think he cares.
Right.
To play.
And then, Nathan is kind of surprised he's challenging him to this game because he's like, I was in the NBA, right? And then Ian tells Nathan so he understands that he can hit any part of the plate from 60 feet away. So, try and make him sound good. But then Clay's the one that makes the first shot and tells Ian to drink up. And then Brooke explains that since they don't know the baby's sex, she's using yellow for a neutral color while Julian likes green. And Chloe asks, why doesn't she just paint the room black? And Brooke says, Chloe?
Oh, I think you said Clay.
Oh, no. I don't know. I meant Chloe at least. And Brooke says that it would be like a cave then. And Chloe says exactly. It would be awesome. And that's when Brooke says that she had a friend named Peyton.
I did think it was weird when she said, just paint it black.
Yeah, I guess that was the only way they could bring Peyton into the conversation.
For a baby?
Yeah, I guess I think it was just to get Peyton in the conversation.
Well, it could have been worded differently about adoption. And then she could have been like, I think also to make herself look good. She could have been like, I really wanted to adopt because my best friend was adopted and I saw how good her life turned out. Well, I don't maybe not say that part, but like, you know what I mean? Of like, her birth parents couldn't give her the life they wanted her to have at the time because they were young or whatever. Because we know Ellie was young. So it's like she could have worded it something like that, of like bring in like I understand. This is why I'm doing it, to reassure her of like, okay, the baby is going to the right place, something. But
Mhm.
instead of black walls, I'm like, you're no.
Right. So, Brooke asked Chloe, if she could help her out if she told her the sex of the baby so they can know for sure what color to use. And that's when Chloe kind of says, angrily that she doesn't want to know what it is. And then, Brooke apologizes to Chloe for, bringing it up. And Chloe says it's okay and maybe she should go because she's tired.
And then she said that she has her motorcycle, so she doesn't need Brooke to take her anywhere. And she's like, "You ride a motorcycle?"
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "No." It's like, God,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I can't with this girl.
Right. Getting Brooke's heart rate up.
Yeah.
And then Chloe says she enjoyed seeing the look on her face though in that moment. And then thanks Brooke for letting her hang out for the day. And then Chloe tells her no matter what color she paints it, the room's going to be nice. And she's sure the baby's going to have an awesome life. And then Chase walks over to Chuck's and knocks on Chuck's bedroom door. And Chuck mistakes him for someone called Mr. Meathole. I don't know what that is. And then once he sees it's Chase, he lets him talk to him through the front door and, asking if he's there to laugh at him some more. So Chase says no, he's sorry about laughing earlier, and tells him to put some warm clothes on and come outside. And he ends up taking him to the baseball field to practice. And he brought Alex's glasses for him to use again and tells, Chuck that he won't laugh and he's not going to be punked for this.
Doesn't she need her glasses?
Maybe for reading? I don't know.
Also, your scripts are different.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of it. Yeah.
I can't.
Mm-hmm. And then, but somehow it's working because he hits the ball this time because he sees it.
Somehow he can see magically.
Yeah.
With her prescription.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Right. And he hits the ball so well that he hits Chase in the stomach.
Yeah, he's such a pro now.
Yeah, making him fall and says he got chucked again. And Chase, figures out now that he really does need glasses and has him hit another ball. And then Mouth asks Millie what she's looking at and calls her the girl he loves. And she says she's looking at her sexy bartender boyfriend who always helps her. And Mouth says, does she mean the one who feels bad about giving her the bad advice? And Millie tells him that he didn't give her bad advice. It felt good to say what she said. So if she gets fired, she gets fired. But then Jerry starts calling her, and she says she doesn't want to get fired, but answers it. And then after tells Mouth that the switchboards were jammed all day. And
and he goes, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But then she tells him that that everybody liked her. That's why they were calling in or whatever.
And then Ian says they should celebrate, and Nathan points out that
what did you? Because the last thing I got was Mouth and Millie.
Oh yeah, she asks what else is he mad about that she could use.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's when my thing cut out.
Okay.
So Ian signs the contract, and Clay was the one that helped him win, even though he's the only one that's not an athlete there. And then Ian wants to celebrate, so Nathan says, hasn't he had already enough to drink already? And Ian says drinking probably, but not the women. And Nathan decides to use the bathroom before he leaves. And then Ian texts Alex, it turns out.
Yep, I didn't like
that was the one. Yeah, she was talking to earlier. But then Chase walks up and she asks how things go with Chuck, and Chase says it went fine, but if he was hit a few inches lower, not so good, and he thanks her for the glasses. He says it's their secret, and she offers to close up the bar because she misses it, and says she didn't get any better offers anyhow, so that's when she deletes Ian's text, and then puts her glasses on and helps Chase. And then Quinn makes herself another toaster pastry when Haley tells her the baby's coming for real. And then Brooke is looking at the yellow, green, and black colors on the wall. And that's when Julian tells Brooke she went into labor. And Brooke thinks he means Haley, but he tells her it's Chloe.
Also, if Quinn was drinking, that's not good.
Right. And then Nathan is walking around looking for the bathroom.
Yeah, because he's like, I guess if I'm staying, I'd go to the bathroom. So he is trying to find the bathroom. And of course, he opens the door. It's the garage. He shuts it. starts walking back and then realizes what he saw. So he opens the door. And the fact that he actually went and opened up the car door, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, because an alarm could have gone off. Yeah.
I was just like, Nathan. And also, what do you think you're going to find in there? Because it's been weeks.
Mhm.
Like, what do you think you're going to find in there? You know what I mean?
I mean, he still finds something, so I
I don't know.
guess. Yeah.
It was just kind of weird. I was like, okay. Like, I don't really know exactly what he was expecting to find, I guess. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Because he's not an
Yeah.
investigator. Like,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
like an ID of whose car it is. I don't know, but yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. Or maybe look around the car and see if it had just gotten fixed or something, like
Mhm.
more
Well,
recent.
yeah, he says it's still messed up, so he knows it hit something.
Because it's just weird. He goes right inside instead of like looking around. You know what I mean? I don't know, it's just kind of weird. But that's when he finds alcohol in the car, which again, it was probably from last night, the alcohol.
Yeah.
It wasn't from that night, Nathan.
Right.
But clearly it was him he's going with. And he also hasn't stopped from that lesson. Like it wasn't his rock bottom apparently.
Right.
Because usually, you would think that if
Mhm.
you did something bad like that, that you would have guilt, first of all. And secondly, that would be your rock bottom to stop and change your life, which he has not done.
Mhm.
So of course, Nathan is like really upset
Yep.
because that was
Putting
his
things
son.
together. Yep.
Yep.
And
And
Ian just signed the contract.
I know that was my thing is it would have been hilarious if like Nathan would have come back out and like ripped up the contract.
Yeah, but we unfortunately don't see what happens after he leaves the garage. So.
No, because all you see is his face, upset. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, but it would have been funny. Well, I'm sure what happens, right, is Quinn calls him and
Mhm.
says, you go to the
The
hospital.
babies, yeah. So he
So
probably
then,
didn't. He probably didn't see Ian after this. Yeah,
right,
he had to leave.
because in his head, he's thinking of Haley and the baby. So
Yeah.
he's not thinking clearly anymore.
Right.
So I'm just like, not good. Also, could you imagine that ride to the hospital?
Right.
You just found out it was Ian, who you just
Mhm.
signed. You
Mhm.
hate his father. That's like a
Mhm.
whole ordeal. Your
Yeah.
wife is in labor. You don't know if you're, who knows if you're going to make it. Like, there's so much going through your head. Also, where's Jamie? It's
Mhm.
like there's so much on your mind, and I'm surprised he didn't get in an accident.
Right.
Um, so what was your high and low?
The low was at the end when I mean there was a lot of lows with Chloe too, but the end was Nathan finding out, that it was Ian who was a hit and run and finding the evidence that's somehow still in the car so many weeks later. And then the high was I don't know, I guess Haley finally having her baby for the first time, not first time, but like a real, like it's like legit, it's not false this time. And she's not alone, maybe not the best because yeah, Quinn was drinking, but at least it's not a game this time for her. And it's legit. And they I guess they had Quinn's car by this point, yeah, her SUV. So they were able to have a good car this time. And yours?
Um, my high was seeing Brooke happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly happy. Like she's married to the love of her life. She's gonna have a baby. Uh just seeing her so happy in this episode, and then we know it's gonna all come crashing down next episode. So just seeing her in this moment of being happy was definitely my high because
Mm-hmm.
I know it's all coming down. Um
Yep.
and then my low, Chloe not understanding what boundaries are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the whole Ian thing and Nathan. Yeah.
Right.
Also, I was thinking like, would it have been better if it was Clay that saw the car? Or was it better that Nathan saw the car? For proof. Like, I guess I'm gonna go with Nathan just because
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you need to see it, no matter how bad it is, no matter if it's something you don't want to see. Sometimes you need to see proof in order to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if someone tells you, you're going to be like, are you sure? Are you sure it was that car? Are you sure? I mean, like, what did you see? Like, instead, you can answer those questions for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, but also the hard side is like, you don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think it was best that Nathan was the one to find out. What about you?
Yeah, because if Clay found out, then he would have had to decide what would be a good time to even tell Nathan. And then when he did, when Nathan believed him, because he hasn't believed him about not, saying not trusting him for many times. And Nathan's still going through with having him sign the contract and everything. So he probably would have had to somehow find, get Nathan back in the garage and so he can see for himself, unless by then Ian got rid of the car itself, as a whole evidence. So probably been too late and all that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because especially if he had cameras, he would have seen like Nathan in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Or at that point, if it was Clay in the garage, she would have been like, gotta get rid of the car. Because Clay was in the garage.
Right.
Yeah, because they would have had to figure out a way to sneak back in for proof or even pictures or whatever. Like he would have had to come back in, which I don't think Ian would have allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, I think this way Nathan was the one that could be like, we're terminating this. Where if Clay had said it, he would have been like, come on, you're overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it was best that it was Nathan because he's been on Ian's side. But you know what I was
Right.
thinking too?
Hmm.
When Nathan um was driving the bus and remember they got pulled over, almost hit the train, all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had no remorse.
Right.
He was the same way. He was waiting for the next party.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he didn't. I mean, yes, did he kill anybody? No, but he could have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he also didn't really learn his lesson either from a bad situation.
Right.
I'm just saying. But I know it was his son. So, but I'm just saying, like, when you actually think about it, it's like, I don't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely was good that Nathan phoned. How, but you just wish he would have, like, punched him before he walked out the door.
Right.
But no, I'm just guessing maybe when he was still in the garage, headed out, he got a call or something or a text.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he just decided to leave. I don't know.
Right.
And then what would you rate it?
Like like an 8.
Oh, I was gonna go with 8.5.
Okay, yeah.
And then who is your best and worst?
The worst was just because I know Ian's gonna get bad sooner than later. I'm gonna say the bad one right now is Chloe, even though I know she's gonna be a step worse next episode with her decision. And then the best was Brooke, just because she was helping out Haley, but with her false alarm, but also being nice to Chloe. I mean, over nice to Chloe, but still nice, and asking questions about the baby's room color and letting her stay there for a while, maybe even the night if Chloe asked her to, probably. And yeah, this was just kind of like her little good episode, because this is something she's wanted for a long time, even before she got together with Julian. So it's a dream that she's had for a while, and at least since she was about 22. She's like maybe 26, 27 now, so about 5 years or so, and she thinks she's finally going to get it. We know it's a different story, but yeah.
Yes, the worst, 100% Chloe. Boundaries
Mm-hmm.
are not her friend.
Right.
And then um the best, I went with Quinn. Because think about it. Haley had messed with every person that was close to her. And or who she trusted. She think about this. If Quinn would have left, right, when Quinn wanted to, Haley would have went into labor. She would have called Quinn, and Quinn would have been like, I've already been pranked. Not gonna happen. Not falling for it. She then would have probably tried to call Brooke. Brooke would have said the same thing. It's like, like the whole crying wolf. So it's like, she's lucky Quinn was still there, because I don't think that they would have listened to her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on her. That is on her. So
Right.
it's like, so she should just be lucky that she was there. Otherwise, she
Yeah.
would have had to call the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like, yeah. That's why you just don't do that to people. But yeah, I was
Right.
like, Quinn was the best, because also I probably would have left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're testing me, goodbye. So yeah, the fact that she stayed with her the whole time, yeah, good sister.
Right.
So I feel like it was also a good episode for Quinn,
Mm-hmm.
and plus I just love her. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, she's lucky she was still there, because she actually got to see your reaction versus over the phone,
Right.
because her tone was still the same. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you would not have been able to see her face.
Right.
So yeah, and then what was the next episode?
Episode 18, Quiet Little Voices, which
Oh,
is
because it's
like
about the
baby.
baby. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess babies,
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Also, how strange is it that the babies are born on the same day?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if Brooke would have been able to, have this baby, would have been cute. They could have probably had birthday parties together and all that.
Yep, every year.
Mm-hmm. Until the kids hated it. Yeah.
They probably would have still forced it.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 rich families.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.